Good morning, Patriots. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. It's a beautiful 60-degree November 7th day. All right, so as many of you know, fuel for heating is going to be in very, very short supply very soon, if at all. So as many of you know, last year I put a barrel stove in here. I have a 30,000 BTU furnace in there as well, but I have several outbuildings, as you know. I have a wood stove in one. I just don't feel like buying another wood stove. I can use the money for something else. And I have another one of those. And I ordered a barrel stove kit. Comes with legs, comes with the door, comes with the damper. All I need is stovepipe. So this 55-gallon drum will really heat a place. Probably gonna end up in there if my solar panels fail running the pellet stove or the batteries or anything. Okay, so luckily this one, the lid comes off. So I've already drawn where the door is gonna go. The inside line is where I'm cutting. So I drilled one pilot hole to put my jigsaw in there. I'll have to cut out these little holes after. That's just where the air will be allowed. So what's going to be nice is when it comes time to put the legs on this, I don't have to try and fit my hand through a little 12-inch hole. I can drill my holes, I can get my whole body right in there and tighten up the nuts. Last time was a pain in the ass. All right, this is going to be very important for me down the road. I will burn crap wood in this thing, but at 55-gallon barrel, they keep it going. Who's ever living in the old man cave will stay warm. All right, let me cut out the hole. Okay, so as you can see, this is a Harbor Freight drill, and the one flaw is when you push the button, it stays on. This button stops it from being permanently on. I do not like that feature. I wrote them an email. I went in the store and I told them I think that's a flaw, but they don't care about me. All right, get back. Okay, with the hole complete, now I have to drill the holes for the individual bolts. And then the holes for the air. This is the slide that moves this unit back and forth. These will be fun. They'll take a little bit of time, right? Gonna do the next bigger one. That's more like it. All right, 10 more. Get back to you in a minute. Okay, so some of you were probably thinking when I had drawn those little holes right here, why doesn't he just cut out the square and rectangle? And I thought the same thing. It's only a slide. When it's closed, it's closed. And when it's open, it's open. So it's covering the whole thing. So I saved myself some drilling and I just cut out the whole thing. It doesn't have to be exact with these things. You're gonna have the plate, and as long as it's screwed down in the proper places and you got enough room to stick your wood in there, and this isn't sticking in so far past this that you would cut yourself, don't worry about it. Just get her done. Okay, so somehow I got all the holes right, and I got these little washers. They're kind of like little lock washers. They're textured on the bottom side. That's going to be up against the lid, so you can tighten them by hand. But when you reach under here and put them on, just be careful because the holes that you drilled, there's lots of little burrs on the bottom of this lid because you were cutting metal. I could have got out my file and touched all those up, or my grinder, but no, it's on the inside as long as I remember and pay attention. And that little cutout slides back and forth, no problem. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my drill, which is holding the camera up, and I'm just gonna tighten all these up, and then we're gonna be done with the lid and we'll move on to the legs. Okay, so because my lid is detachable, I don't have to worry about getting the leg on the top of this barrel so that they would be lined up with a door that I had already installed. I can put mine back on after it as the band and the bolt that keep it shut. So to make my legs in the same place, I will put the one part of the leg right on this seam here and the other part down here. This little line, for whatever reason, is going to come in handy. Both my legs will be in the same place. I know they're level because I'm putting them on with the line, and then when I flip this over and put it on the ground to cut the hole in the top, I know I'm cutting in the top from the middle of the stove. So let me get the legs out. Okay, so to make it easier so that these would sit here and I can get my markings for my holes, I rolled the barrel a little bit to the left just so that this would sit up here. Still not perfectly balanced, but it's enough for me to use a marker to make 4 holes. These holes on the legs are for you to bolt it to the ground. Now they make a double barrel kit that would be doing exactly what I'm doing. There would be legs on the bottom, and then there would be another set of legs just like this, where you put a second barrel right on top of this one. The legs are a little more curved. They're curved on both sides. They're curved this way, and then they're curved this way. Second barrel sits in there. So when you cut the hole down here for your normal 6-inch chimney, it's just going to be a piece that's approximately 8 inches long that goes from this barrel up into the second barrel, and then your chimney stack would come up and go out the second barrel, not the first. So what happens with a double barrel stove is this one fires up, burns and burns and burns. As the smoke goes from this barrel to the second barrel, it ignites again, giving you twice the heat. I've seen videos where they have a thermometer and they're pushing 1200 degrees in the top barrel. Yeah, I don't need it that hot. So the paint will burn off this barrel. So if you can do a couple burns outside, no chimney needed, just set it on the ground. I got gravel here. I'm gonna fire this thing up, burn all the paint off it. The paint on the bottom probably won't come off because you put 2 to 3 inches of sand in there, and then I'll put a layer of fire brick before I put a little grate to lay my logs on, so the heat never really gets down because flame burns up. But the paint on the sides and the top will burn off. Doesn't really stink, doesn't even really smoke that much, but nonetheless, something you should do. Just burn it off outside a few times. One good fire, if you get it going good enough for a couple hours, will take care of it. And the barrels weigh almost nothing, even fully assembled. So why not just do it outside? That way if something goes wrong too, you're not filling up a building. I see that the door seal, like the other stove I had, it doesn't seal real tight, so I'll probably buy a coil of fire rope to go glue it to the inside of the door, just to keep the smoke from coming out and too much excess wind and all that good stuff, but mostly for smoke. All right, get back to you in a minute. Okay, I moved the barrel to the ground. I just put a wood under each side to stabilize it a little better, because I can get much more downward pressure right here. Can even put my leg on it. But I was on my sawhorses, and if you don't have a pair of these speed horses, I'm gonna tell you, these things are fantastic. Pretty light. When I'm done, I just reach in the end, pull that lever up, the legs retract up inside. Oh man, Santa brought me those last year. These things are phenomenal. I recommend everyone get a pair of these. Okay, back. Okay, she's standing. So a little trick I learned on the first kit that I made, that's rust, by the way, off the barrel. Covered with it. I climbed inside. Is when you drill the holes through the backside for the legs, drill them slightly at an angle, so you can get a screwdriver in on the other side of the leg frame, and 2, when they go in at an angle, when you get in here and turn these, the bolt will catch because it's on an angle, and you don't have to have a hand on both sides. It'll tighten it up enough where you get this just snug, and then you can finish off with a drill or a screwdriver on the other side. Okay, so here we are. The damper, made in China. Okay, so if you'll notice, it's got a curve in it like a hat, designed to fit the curve of the barrel. So you're gonna get it in place where it won't rock back and forth. And that's where you want to put your holes. It's not perfect exactly, but it's good enough. It's gonna tighten it down quite a bit. So I'm gonna drill the holes for that now. Okay, before I drill, this may sound simple, but it's easy to mark all the holes except for 2. So just take it and do a 1-hole turn. Make sure your holes are lined up, because remember, it's not going to be curved the same. So my holes are lined up. Oops, sorry about that. And then just push down and make your hole. That hole's lined up. The rest are lined up, and then you just come back and do it on the other side. Note to self: remove damper and draw hole before securing to the top of the barrel. I did that last time too. So once I have this out, I'm gonna draw my hole to cut right here. Then I'm gonna put this back down, screw it down, and I can get my hands through here to tighten all the nuts and bolts before putting this back on. Okay, almost made the whole project without a screw up. Get back. Okay, there it is. Make sure when you draw the line for this hole, cut it about 1/4 inch bigger, or this won't turn. Ask me how I know. Okay, so I put the front on. So as you can see, this one's with a strap. The bolt is missing here. So I'll have to get one to tighten this up. But this will make cleaning nice. I can undo this and take the whole darn thing off. Okay, there it is. Closed. Open. Okay. Find my stovepipe, and I'll probably do a burn later. But 55-gallon barrel. It'll do what it has to do, folks, especially for those who aren't going to have any heat. Now, I wouldn't recommend this doing in your 3rd floor, 2nd floor, or even 1st floor apartment. But when you're out here in the country like me, and you got several outbuildings that people are going to be living in soon, these things kick butt. All right, this went kind of long, but hope you got a good gist of this. The barrel cost me $15. I got it on Facebook Marketplace from a guy I get a lot of plastic barrels and metal barrels. I think I paid $15. The kit was $55. So there's $70, and I got a wood stove. I got some black pipe laying around. I'll make a through-the-wall kit. You can do it yourself with tin and the pipe that comes off furnaces and runs out. It's just something to stop heat from getting on the wall. Build your frame, your square to pass through. No insulation close. Cover the wood on both sides and on the inside, even if you got leftover flashing laying around. You got to do what you got to do, folks. Times are going to dictate what we have to do. Don't forget to get some food. www.storagechef.com, SFP15. Get out and vote tomorrow. I'll make another video on all the ramifications, shenanigans, and all that crap that we know is going to happen. It's just a matter of where, who, how much, and what we're going to do about it. All right, that's all I got for now. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. But for now, JT, signing off.